Welcome back, Rich Nation. My name is AJ, and today we're going to be continuing Overlord, starting Season 2, Episode 1. I didn't really wait too long to go straight from Season 1 to Season 2. We had an amazing last couple episodes. We got to see Ainz finally kind of have a challenge, even though it was one of his own, one of his own people, but still, he actually had, well, a challenge, but then it wasn't a challenge, and and that made me think, was it really a challenge at all? But it was just enjoyable, and season 1 in general, the show in general, has been really fun. A kind of different look on an just a different type of isekai, and kind of nice to see somebody that's not necessarily like the good guy being the main character, and just a lot of elements you don't really see in a show a lot, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So I can't wait to kind of start this season and see where we go from here. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You can also check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AJRich123 if you want to see uncut reactions, early releases. That's where you need to do it. And let's go ahead and start. Who's this girl with the Oreo cookie hair? God, I always sucked at those cubes. Oh, so it's a group that fought against Schillinger. Oh man, that sounds like somebody that needs to face Ainz. She doesn't seem amused. Oh, she looks a little demonic. What? There's a lot going on. Completely out of, where's Ainz in them? Oh. Why would he do that? What? So he fought Schillinger. Whoa! So this person's from the game? Hold on a second. I think I'm missing this completely. I'm probably gonna have to rewatch this, but so this guy, I kind of had that suspicion that when he showed the that he used to be in this body of armor or something, that it could be a player from the game, but now he's mentioning the game in general, and the way they're talking, this guy for sure, this dragon right here, must have been an actual player from the game when it was a game, right? That's the only thing I could get from this, even though it's not 100% straight up saying it. He just named the fucking game. How would he even have knowledge about that? So it's definitely a player. But she said she used to be an adventurer, and when I hear the name adventurer, I'm thinking, was she a player as well and stopped playing, or because I don't know how they're having this conversation. That's what I got from that. But then she's talking about some other girl that took over being an adventurer, and that part doesn't quite make sense. You guys can yell at me in the comments. I feel like I'm probably missing a shit ton in this. I'm trying to keep up with it. It's just going from the last episode of season 1 to this seems like a humongous shift. So yeah. So, oh, okay. I was wondering what happened to him. This is really strange that they haven't, like, shown Ainz yet. Are we getting, like, a different perspective here? It's interesting to see this perspective, though. Like, these guys actually have, you know, normal-ish lives. Their lives, it seemed like in the first season, they're just kind of thrown there. Oh, yeah, they see Ainz as a good person. Okay, we finally get to see, yes, there we go. There he is. Why aren't you using hamster power of cuteness? One hitter quitter? We know we're an overlord, we're chopping off heads. Wait, so how long has it been between that battle at the end of season 1 to now? Albedo. Her as thirsty as fucking ever. Oh, the thirst. My thing would be going off constantly. So yeah, she was waiting for him. So he really was he must have been a really big recluse. Wait, what? What just happened? Okay. So, oh, okay, so that's his reasoning. He doesn't want to do anything. Feels a lot more than just him writing it down. It feels like it's developed into more. Now he's actually learning where things are now that he's explored a bunch. So they're building onto this and using the forest that they had taken. It makes sense to expand, especially with so much people at his disposal. I completely get that. The hell? What the fuck? I saw the boobs and I was expecting it, and then it just went to furry. Or was that like an actual race in the game? Oh, okay. Yeah, that seems good enough for her. Oh, God. The one that does death by tits. In such a little amount of time, he's been able to figure out this much. So that was one of the dragons that we saw? I mean, that was a lot in a short amount of time. You can't leave those people alone. That's actually pretty smart. Okay, so it seems it was immediately afterwards then. The hell is she drunk off of? Lust? And what the fuck is this? Is that some fungus bartender? Fucking penguin? Where are these guys coming from? Have they always been around and they just weren't shown season 1? You know that since they're all people in, you know, in their group and everything, and the NPCs were designed by the players. Now that I think about it, their weird appearances like this just kind of make sense. You would have, you know, everybody's different when they're character, you know, with character design and creating stuff. But something that especially the light novel readers or anybody that has information, you guys can let me know in the comments. How excessive was that when you could create an NPC? How excessive was it? Was it like one of those crazy character where you could design every little thing? Because we see so much we see so many differences and variants between all these different NPCs. They're designed so differently. Compared, I feel like it must have really been a big type of character building set, like something like oh god, what is that game, Black Desert, that has like a pretty deep character design. I mean, even Guild Wars 2 has a pretty deep character design for where you could make a ton of stuff, but this is to an extent where you could create animals and I mean, you've got a fucking fungus bartender. Who thinks of that? Anyway. Do you really need an assistant butler? It's not like you meant to. Maybe he should make it apparent, which he kind of did, that he doesn't blame her or anything. Huh. What could you do to her to punish her though? Like, what would she not like? I think Schillinger would be in that BDSM type shit. He's really spreading out his people. It's probably gonna take them a bit to really enact that though. Can you complain getting constantly just turned on while you're there? No wonder he has to leave. Huh. So like a lizardmen type race. So they must have like a tribe or something. It helps, yeah, it helps if you have family members to kind of bring you back. I wonder who is going to who's gonna, you know, kill the peace here. What is this music? What the fuck is this? That is demonic as hell. Okay, so I ended up rewatching the beginning two scenes because I was just very confused. It went so fast for me. I was like, I know I need to rewatch it, but I also wanted to explain it on here. So hopefully you guys watch these next couple minutes so you know what my thoughts were, because I know the initial thing, I'm just confused as hell. But the second scene is what I thought was really, really important, because the dragon is talking to that older lady, and my initial thought was I saw the name of the game, right? Said the name of the game. He said it out of his mouth. And that was, I felt like immediately, oh, okay, that he must be from the game, must be a player from the game. It even showed, oh, you're not even what you used to be. And it showed a plate of armor. And I was like, oh, okay, so somehow he's become a dragon, and he was maybe he was a player or whatever, and maybe she knew it. And then I thought, oh, maybe that possibly means she's a player. Well, after rewatching, she's definitely, there's no way she was a player, because she's talking about being an adventurer and being part of the guild. And they also talk about being a couple hundred years old. It's been a couple hundred years. That old lady is she's definitely got to be really old. And the dragon's talking about that. And that made me think, okay, so the old lady was a friend of his hundreds of years ago. So how would he be from the game if that was hundreds of years ago? That makes no sense whatsoever. But how does he know about the name? So these were the conclusions and the thoughts that I thought. Either one, he's from the game, and then somehow years, maybe possibly meaning, I don't know, maybe the span of time is different in this. Maybe a bunch happened between the game, the game ending and then going, Ainz and them being put in to this world. Maybe there was a span of time between that. That was my first thought. Then the other thing it could be is he's not from the game at all, and he has knowledge about that world. But then how does he have knowledge, and how does he know the name? How does he know the name of the game? Because he didn't state it. He didn't state the name like it was a game at all. And like, he didn't state it like it used, that was the name of a game. He just stated it like just regularly. So maybe the name, maybe he somehow I don't know, maybe he somehow has knowledge about because there are items from the game. There's things from the game that's in this world now. So possibly maybe some of the descriptions or something has maybe something has like the name of the game on it, or maybe he read something that had that name on it. Maybe he learned some knowledge from somebody that told him about this. That's the only thing I can think of. He must have just learned knowledge. I'm leaning more towards that than him actually being a player. I'm not completely cutting that possibility out, but it just also the thing that threw me off from the player thing is they mentioned later on in the episode about the dragons and about there's like multiple dragons, and that also made me think, like, if this is one of these dragons that it's talking about, how would he have been a player then? But he was an adventurer. It said, you're not my friend anymore. Technically you're a dragon. So maybe these dragons are reformed people or adventurers from this world. And that just opens up a million other questions. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure I kind of let you guys know that I rewatched that scene, because I knew I missed stuff, and I didn't want to go into this being completely like confused. I don't know if this knowledge is going to be needed later. I hate missing stuff, and I just felt when I watched it, I was like, oh man, I know I missed shit in this. But how many of you guys felt confused as I did the first time you watched this episode? I feel like I can't be the only one. There's no way I was the only one confused, because it goes from it introduces 4 characters in the matter of like 2 minutes. And they're talking about 2 different scenarios and scenes, and then they cut away and then we meet a bunch of other characters. This whole episode was an introduction of some characters we've seen and kind of having their perspective for a few minutes. And I wonder if they're gonna do that more often, because last season, Ainz is the main character. They've really, there were times where we got to see other characters for short bits. We got to see Shaltir, almost a whole episode with her kind of doing her own thing. But mostly it's been that focus, of their group. And I'm wondering if they're going to lean towards going into, we're going to be able to see more people. Because even in the opening, we see that it's showed a lot of the other characters there as well. It was showing some of the ones that were shown this episode. I don't know. I find it very interesting. I love this though. Like, I was very intrigued. That's why it made me have to go back to the beginning to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because if it does that, and we're following other characters, because I feel like we know very little. I mean, even that captain that we saw, the brown-haired captain that we saw in a couple of the episodes from last season, don't really know much about him. He was just he was there, and we got to see him like attempt to fight, but then he got his ass kicked, and then Ainz had to show up. So it was really it's really interesting to see if that ends up happening or not. We get to maybe learn more about these guys. We saw the king talk to his kids, and it seemed interesting. But anyway, this episode was cool. Always good to see Albedo nice and thirsty. I mean, no complaints there. That's great. I really enjoy this show. If you guys can't tell, the show's really it's been very fun and refreshing. And I can't wait to watch more of it. So thank you for watching this extended little talk here. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You can also check out my Patreon at patreon.com/ajrich123 if you want to see uncut reactions, early releases. I'd appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.